Parashat Devarim, the beginning of the last book of the Torah, starts off with a long speech by Moshe Rabbeinu, by Moses, as they come to the end of the 40 years traveling around in the wilderness and are about to invade the land of Canaan, and Moses is coming towards the end of his life. And he goes back and he recounts some of the primary issues in the past. One of them is, for example, the idea that he should appoint 70 elders to help him cope because he was finding it too difficult to manage everything with all that vast number of people all by himself. The question is, when did that happen? It's first of all Yitro, in the first year of coming out of Egypt, who suggests to Moshe that he appoint 70 elders. But then the Torah goes and repeats that story of appointing the 70 elders later on. And here it seems that this idea of the 70 elders comes virtually right at the end of Moshe's life before he hands over to Yoshua. Or give another example. We have read in Bamidbar about sending spies. Shulach lecha anashim, send spies. And there God says, you send the spies. Here in Devarim, Moshe tells it that the people gathered round and said, we want to send the spies. So there are, it seems, two different versions of the same story. And then finally, there's the story of Rosen and Shimon, the two tribes that stay over on the West Bank, which again in Bamidbar, they approach Moshe with the whole issue and debate, and eventually Moshe agrees under certain conditions, and here in Devarim it seems that Moshe is just offering it to them without any of this preamble. What does this mean? Well, in one way you could say it means that in the course of one's life, one never remembers things exactly the way they were. Times change, and our memories, human memories, are very, very fallible. On the other hand, and this is something I'm going to come back to later on in this book, on the other hand, use of language is an important issue. Language is limited. We can't convey two separate ideas simultaneously, but very often the ideas themselves do involve disparate and separate elements. So it may well be that it was God expressing the will of the people. And that's why we have at one moment God's view, the next moment people's view, and we're supposed to merge these two into one. There's another example of this problem in the Parsha, in which God turns round and he says to the children of Israel, I can see that you don't believe in God. Eincha maminim b'Hashem. You don't believe in God. And this question of what do we mean by believe in God is one that's going to carry on being a focal point for debate throughout Jewish history. The word emunah in English means believe, but in Hebrew it's rather more being firm, amen, firm, serious about something, committed to something, like Moshe's hands being firm when he held them up in the battle against Amalek. It's not that his hands were believing anything, it's just that they were firm. And therefore, the term emunah needs to be connected to the word that comes after it. And here it says emunah ba, belief in, as opposed to emunah she, belief that. Belief that could be a scientific thing. Do I believe that the sun will rise tomorrow, in which case we will check tomorrow to see if the sun rises. Believing that is, if you like, the scientific side of things, the rational. Emunah ba, believing in, is more a matter of conviction. And the truth of the matter is, in normal English, we'd rarely say, I believe in you, and mean it's something theological. We'd rather use it, if we do use it, to say, I trust you. And here I think Moshe is saying very clearly, the problem was always one of trust. You saw the miracles. So it's not as though you weren't aware of the presence of God. It wasn't aware that you didn't see the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire, and every day there was the manna coming. But the scientific side, what you saw, wasn't what really mattered. It was your deep inner feeling, your conviction. And therefore, when we talk about God, we mean conviction, not a theological thing that, yeah, I believe, glory, hallelujah. And that's where language is so important. Language enables us to convey information, but when we examine language, we can also see what that information is that the text is trying to convey.